Hello, my lovely listeners. Welcome. First time this year. I have been silent for some time. It's been a busy couple of weeks or couple of months. I think last time I've spoken to you back in December, just before Christmas or in between Christmas and New Year's. And since then, I have been silent. It was silent online, not silent in my head. In my head, I was trying to come up with best subjects and areas to talk about. And I've been gathering experiences and gathering moments in life to talk to you about, and how I have been alkalizing and alchemizing those moments and those experiences, and what was happening with me and to me and around me, and what teachings I have taken from the life around me. And there has been so many different things and so many little subjects that I first of all forgot a little bit what I was something that was very clever in my mind to tell you. I am sorry to say I forgot all of this, but as much for you as for myself, I thought it's a high time to go on here. I haven't been on here for ages. This is something that I really love doing. So talking, communication is for me super important, is something that I thrive on. I like to think that it's my skill as well. It comes easily to me. So going on a podcast like this, I just have to find an inspiration and kind of kick myself in the backside a little bit, and then off I go. I pretty much can talk for 20 minutes without much preparation or like a written one. Actually, I think I'd go not as good if I had written preparation, because it would stress me out a little bit. I would be really wanting to go off from the list, and then I would probably forgotten what was on the list, and then I would have to find the point. I just wanted to speak Polish there for a second, because I am in Poland actually, and I'm spending time with my friend away in a little hotel in the woods, and I was feeling as if I wasn't deserving that. That it wasn't financially feasible or financially clever. And this is the theme that I've been going now for some time. As you know, probably if you were listening to my other podcasts, or if you don't know, is the feeling of guilt that I spend money and I don't save money, and it's not done cleverly, so that I will be lacking money at some point because I've spent them on indulgence and on stupid things, things that are not useful. So basically on pampering myself, or on things that are just useful at this time, and like food, for example, or massages, or yes, being in traveling. So not material things. And I have been feeling guilty. And yesterday I had a talk with my therapist. I am doing EMDR, but also EMDR is a therapy that is about following the dot that goes from right to left, and with your eyes. It's called a rapid eye movement, something, forgot now, but basically it's about connecting your right and left brain and sort of rewiring, or making new connections in your brain. So it works very funnily actually. The therapist asks me, or ask you the question, and then you follow up the dot, and the sort of answers. That's how it works for me. And the answers come up in your head while you following this dot, and you follow it for a minute or so, and then you go back to the therapist and you tell therapist what you were thinking about, and then the therapist asks you another question. It can take a couple of times until you go to the statement that really agrees with you and kind of helps you overcome whatever you were thinking at the very beginning. So for me, for example, it was something about my parents, that I wasn't listened to, that my parents were really difficult, and then our relationship is difficult or was difficult in the past and is still difficult. And it took a couple of times for me to then come with this statement, and just to say, this is not the statement that the therapist tells you, and I come back to this in a second. This is the statement that you come up with yourself. So this is the statement that only resonates with you. And like I said, it can take a couple of times of following the dot, and kind of, it's almost like listening to yourself and what yourself is telling you, your inner self is telling you. And for me, I came with the statement that my parents is just an old couple, and for some reason it just was very comforting, and kind of this statement encompassed the whole meaning between who my parents are, and the meaning between they are just an old couple. To me, explains everything. I don't have to say anything else or anything more. They are very set in their ways. They are never going to change. They are sometimes even pitiful. They are at the end of their at the end period time of their lives. They are a couple, so they are very much together. And then I always kind of knew it. They work together like one mechanism after over 50 years of marriage. They joined together, and they, although they different, they in the same time very similar to each other, and they approach to me, to life, to themselves, to the family, is joined. So the statement that they are just an old couple is almost like, in this sentence, every word matters and every word means something. And this gave me the meaning and the understanding of why they are as they are, what it means, and kind of took the importance of why they treat me this way, and I feel sorry for myself, or things like this. So this really helped me. This was one of the things, and I am obviously, as always, being very vulnerable here and putting myself out there. And the other thing is that when I was thinking about this going away and spending money on myself, this therapist told me another story, which I am just going now pass on to you, because I feel like stories, they need to be told and they need to be passed out like legends and like fairy tales. So the story that the therapist told me was about the plane. And I am in the plane with my family, or if you want to take it to yourself, imagine that you are on the plane with your family and you're flying somewhere, and then all of a sudden the pressure in the plane drops. So the oxygen masks come down, and you are sitting next to your father, mother, daughter, son, or someone from your family, grandmother, whoever that it is, your spouse, your husband, your wife, your best friend. What do you do? Who do you put the mask on first? I said straight away that I would do that for my daughter, right? Although we do know, obviously, that the mask should be first put on ourselves, and we are told that time and time again when we travel. So I said I'll put it on my daughter, and I believe that strongly. That's how I feel. That's what I would do. So then the therapist said, you put it on your daughter. By the time you put it on your daughter, the oxygen levels are so low that you collapse and you die. So then the plane lands with all your family, and you are unfortunately already, you passed away. Who helps your family get off the plane? So I said, well, whoever there is, police or some crew or the stewardess or whoever there is there. And the therapist said yes. So someone else helps the family get off the plane. So now imagine this scenario again. You are on the plane with your family, with the people close to you, with your parents, with your sons, with your daughter, and the oxygen drops down, and the masks fall from the place where they are. Who are you helping first? I said I will help myself, and I was still kind of really reluctantly, because I was imagining that, you know, everyone around me are trying to help, you know, trying to not trying to help me, trying to say, help me, it's, I am important, you know, if you don't help me, I'm gonna not be able to breathe. And it's a very, very, I felt it as a very, very strong kind of feeling of, they are looking at me with the kind of a disdain in their eyes, and they're not happy with me. And I still put my mask on, and then maybe help them, but I already have my mask securely on me. And then the plane lands, and then he said, and then who helps your family gets off the plane? So who helps your family gets off the plane? And that said, I would be me. I help them get off the plane. And again, that was a simple story, but it was very reassuring. And I felt like going away and taking this time for myself, and being here with things that I really crave now. So nature, woods, silence. That's the thing I really crave. I crave silence. Living in a city, in a bustling city with lots of cars and planes, people, really gets on me a lot. So I need silence. I need to be somewhere where there's no noise whatsoever. It was amazing in the evening or during the night when I woke up and I couldn't hear a thing. And this is something that really helps me calms down my nervous system. I think that between Christmas and now, this time was really quite tumultuous, quite time of the withdrawal, and the same time the beginning of the year, you feel like you need to do something, and I didn't really know what to do. And it also came down for me. I came down with a cold. So cold also obviously manifestation of the body, if something wrong is going on, of your immune system kind of tells you, no, it's a hard stop. You have to take care of yourself. You have to lay down in bed. You have to put your feet up, basically. You have to take care of yourself. How many of you listeners said, I am going to put the mask for my children, for my family, for my parents, for whoever else first, because you are so used to it. And it could be even the fact that the mask can have a meaning of, I have to put the money away for a future, instead of really take care of me now, because the future is more important than what's happening now. And I have been fed a fear of future all the time, and so it was really helpful to hear that. And sometimes I need to hear that from someone else, because I cannot say that to myself, or I am not able to, or my voice is not important enough. So my therapist is really useful for this. And when he says, be kind to yourself, just be kind to yourself, I am passing this on. I am saying to you, be kind to yourself. Take care of yourself. He says, the parts of you that need that will tell you that. The parts of you that tell you you have to do something, you listen to those parts. And the parts and the times when your body and your mind tells you, stop, take care of yourself, have a massage, go away somewhere, you need silence, or you need indulgence, right? This comfort food or something like that. You know when this is true. You know when to take break, and it's like a proper break, not indulgence as, oh, I'm bored, or I am trying to fulfill my other needs that I know I should be fulfilling somewhere else, but I cannot just be bothered, or something like that. You know when it comes from your, what I'm trying to say, it's, you know when it comes from your true self, the fact that you have actually been giving your 100%, or trying your best for some time, and now it's time to take a break. So the break part is actually important for you to function, for you to continue after taking this break, giving your 100% to your family, to your work, and everything else. And you know exactly what it's going to be for you. For me, it's quite more steady. So I do like to, yes, lay down or have a walk. For someone else, it could be something else. It could be something more intensive. So it could be some sort of exercise, or something that they actually sweat maybe. But usually I believe that calmness and nature and quietness is always good for you, no matter what. But I also recognize that for some people it takes some getting used to. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about today, which is related to what I was just saying, is about what I was talking to someone I met on the plane. It was a very young person, young guy, and I was reading one of my self-development books, which is actually called Speak Up, and it's by Megan Rates and John Higgins. And this is a book about saying what needs to be said and hear what needs to be heard. I started this podcast talking about how talking and saying and speaking is so important to me. I also was, yesterday, I was checking some planetary dispositions that I have in my planetary, whatever house responsible for communication. And actually, I believe I had Pluto in my communication house and speaking up house. So that means Pluto's, you can check that Pluto is one of your houses. This is the house that comes into transformation in this life, or you came to transform those skills and this part of life in this life. And I recommend Sanctuary. Is a very good app that is free. There are obviously parts that are paid for, but in terms of the chart is free. It's very easy and very interactive, and you can, in Sanctuary, you can check all your houses and you can check all your planets. The only thing that you have to have is your date of birth. Obviously, you have to have your location and you have to have your time. The time is sometimes a little bit tricky. Not everyone knows exact time when they were born. Obviously, if your parents remember, hopefully, If not, then you can just, if they don't remember the exact time to the minute, then you can kind of maybe check. Let's say you are not sure if it was between 8 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. or 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. You can sort of check and put this couple of like 8:15 and 8:30, 8:45, and see if anything changes, because very often nothing was happening in this time in the sky, but sometimes even a minute or 5 minutes, let's say, makes a planet make different transitions. So it might be that it would be a little bit different. So that's how you can check. So Pluto in my I think it was third house. This is a house of communication. I was reading a book about communication, how to communicate at work. This is a book by TED speakers, how to communicate at work, how to speak up, how to say something if you feel that something is not right, but also how to listen. This is the book that I was reading, and this guy next to me on the plane was asking about the book. And although I was very reluctant to talk to this guy, he smelled of alcohol, he was behaving quite, not irrationally, but just couldn't sit still, was very, was kind of animated, and I didn't really particularly feel like I wanted to speak to him. But the way he was very polite and very kind, and I explained about the book and we started chatting, and basically it turned out that this guy was a very young guy, 24 years old, was quite disturbed. He was quite successful in his businesses. He started his businesses when he was really young. He was quite successful. He had, from what I understood, quite a big business that was bringing him quite a lot of money. People under him that he needed to delegate things to, and he needed to tell them what they are supposed to do and things like this. But in his life, he was lost. And from what he was saying, he looked for the salvation in alcohol. He couldn't really sleep at night. He had problems with just remaining calm. He was saying that his pressure was really high up, and he was talking to me that he is just searching. And I know that this is the thing that so many people do. They search, and they don't even know what they are searching for, and they don't know what questions to ask. They don't know what answers they are trying to find. They don't know how their life should look like. They know that they are successful in business. They know that they are achieving what is there to achieve. They put themselves, they put things or goals that they achieve, financial goals, for example, and they reach there, and then they cannot be happy with that. They are trying to be content and trying to be grateful, but there is something that prevents them. And I can only assume that very often it's the trauma that they had, trauma from their childhood. That's very, very, very often the case. That's obviously is just my assumption. That's not always the case, but very often in each of us has got some sort of trauma. And what I said, which I also think it's just, I mean, when I said that to my therapist, that I said that to this guy, he smiled. So, but I'm going to say that anyway, that I really recommend a therapist, someone that is trained to talk to you about those things, and someone who's got experience, and someone who's got empathy, and someone who's seen people like this, and someone who is patient, and all of those skills that the proper therapist can have got, which I also have got. The only thing that I don't have is all the diplomas, which whatever, I feel like I have experience, so that's why I am here on this platform. And the first words from this guy was, I don't trust therapists. I haven't met anyone that is good. I have been with couple and they were all not good. They were telling me what to do. I have experience with some of the therapists, and I totally agree with the therapists, the same as with your friends, with your employees, right? If you have a business, anyone like this, you have to click. Even with your partner, this person, your therapist, is going to be one of the closest people to you. You have to open up to this person. You have to feel safe and you have to trust them. So it is a little bit of work to find a good therapist, a therapist that would really resonate with you, that you would feel safe with, and that you won't feel controlled by, for example. So I really recommended that to this guy and said that he should keep looking, because what he needs is someone to ask him the right questions and someone who is not going to give him answers. The answer has to always come from yourself. You are the best person to know and to find the person within you, and this is going to be your higher self ultimately at some point, who knows what's the best for you. No one else is you, and people can tell you, oh, it's best for you if you do this, or it's best for you if you do that. You have to find this answer. The therapist can help you by asking you the right questions and kind of directing you into the right area, but only you can find the answer. So it's almost as you are a map, and you have the map, and the therapist is telling you, this is the map, look at those points, and they maybe mean this and that, but you will have to find them, and you will have to walk on them, walk that way. No one can walk it for you. And the therapists that say, this is the right map, no, this is the map for you, you have to turn right here, let me tell you where to go, this might not be the right therapist, right? So if you are feeling that you are lost, if you are feeling like you want to confide in someone, or you go to your friends, or you even holding it all within you and say to yourself, like this guy, this is all done, I am all done with this, I have already digested it, it's been and gone. Unfortunately, things like this are best when talked over, digested, alchemized, and really, really, really accepted almost within you, because if you just put them and close them in the little box, they won't go away. So yes, listening to people talking like me on podcast, and speaking to your friends or even whoever you trust is great, but the therapy is someone who is there to do that, and this is their job. And if that's the right person, like I said, for you, I really, really recommend that. And I think that for this guy from the plane, it's really necessary and needed, because for him that was, I could see that he was in quite a state. It was quite difficult. I think that's all for today, and it wasn't the easiest episode for me to talk about. I can feel that I have some blocks in me. I have to think about those, but I still hope that you've enjoyed listening to this, and I found that you found some things useful. And as always, you can reach out to me on Instagram, or other than that, thank you so much for listening, and I speak to you soon. Bye bye.